Guess what time it is? It's 2:30. This is why people get sad. I'm gonna have to awkwardly move into the bedroom to film this. I feel like this is the most awkward filming setup, but this is the only way that I can film today. It's literally like pitch black everywhere else. So excuse the technical difficulties, but hi. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I thought that it would be fun to go over all the series I'm in the middle of. There aren't a lot. I think there's only maybe like 10 or 12. I thought that it would be fun still to go over all of them. A couple of them I'm actually on the edge, like deciding if I want to continue or not, so maybe y'all can help me figure that out. A big goal of mine for 2023 was to finish completed series, or at least try to catch up in as many series as I could. And so I've actually cut a ton of series off of my TBR. So I could make a separate video about series that I've decided to not continue on in, if you think that would be interesting. I could also make a video on series that I've completed and thoughts on them. There are so many concepts. But we're gonna start with series I'm in the middle of. So the first one is the Illuminae series. I read this back in 2016 and absolutely fell in love with it. I thought that it was so fun. The mixed media elements and everything are just so iconic. But I haven't gotten my hands on Gemina, and this is definitely the type of book I at least want to read physically. My library does have the ebook of it, and it's just not the same. Like I can't do it. I can't do like mixed media like this on my phone. No, I can't do it. So I've been waiting to get my hands on it. Honestly, I just haven't made it a priority with my book buying. I do really want to continue on in this. I know that there's three. There's Gemina and Obsidio after this, and then they also just came out in 2020 with a prequel called Memento. So I have like 2.5 books more of this, but I'm really keen. Gemina is the oldest book on my TBR at this point, so I really need to continue on in this series. But I kind of want to get my hands on all of them since I know I'm gonna like them, and then go back, reread this, and then continue, you know? Then I have Warcross. This is a duology. The next one's called Wildcard. I read this in 2017, absolutely fell in love with it. And honestly, I don't know why I haven't read Wildcard yet, because it's not necessarily one that I'm like, oh, I have to have it physically. I just didn't prioritize it. This is one I'm hoping to get to finish by the end of the year. I think I talked about that in my books I want to get to by the end of the year video. I think I had Wildcard in there because since this is only a duology, it's definitely a series I feel like I could complete to help my goal. Then technically I have The Hate U Give, because Concrete Rose is a prequel about like her father, like Star's dad. That one just came out, what, last year? 2 years ago already now? Again, just, there's no reason I haven't gotten to that one except just not prioritizing it. That's another one that I think I could get to before the end of the year to finish the little duology off. Then I have Heartstopper. I have read volume 1 of Heartstopper. They're actually all free on, I forget which site it is, but I know that they are free online. I absolutely loved it. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, easiest 5 stars ever. And I love the show too, which I was really nervous about the show, but I do really love it. Definitely want to continue on. I think I stopped because after realizing how much I love it, I really wanted them physically. And I just think with a graphic novel, I just am always going to prefer to read it physically. Kind of similar to Illuminae. It's like, if there's something besides words on the page, I want to like be able to see it a little bit more clearly. So I really want to get my hands on them physically, and that's I think what's kind of been making me not continue on, just because it's so much easier, more comfortable, and I know I'm gonna love them, so I'd love to own them. And I think with Heartstopper, I think, isn't volume 5 the last one? Volume 6 is the final one. See, I love waiting for series to be done too. I have a really good memory when it comes to things in my life, but any sort of media, I don't have a good memory at all. So like movies and books and TV shows, like if it's been a year or more since I've seen whatever the season or the movie or read the book before it, I have to reread it, or at least watch like a million recap videos to remember. I just like don't hold on to it unless I was absolutely obsessed. I really like waiting until series are done so that I can just kind of like do you hear that rain? That's coming in sideways through the forest. Wow, it is storming. Then technically I have the Bromance Book Club series. So I caught up with this year. I read all 5 books this year, but there is supposed to be a 6th one coming out next year, people say, but it's not on Goodreads yet. But apparently the 6th one is the 6th and final one. And then on top of that, book 1.5 coming out called Courting the Countess, which is the book that the book club reads in the first book. So she actually wrote the book that they read in the first book, which I think is so fun. So I'm really, really excited for that. I don't know when it's actually going to come out, but as far as this one goes, I'm completely caught up, which is amazing. So once the 6th book comes out, I can read that, and then that's another completed series. Then I have Cosmo Nights, which is one of my favorite graphic novels of all time. The first one came out in 2019, and I read it on NetGalley way back then, and I absolutely adored it, 5 stars. And then I thought, because it was so long, right, I was like, oh, they're just not going to continue on, who knows what happened, but I was like set on it just being a one and done thing, which sucked because I absolutely adored it, 5 stars, easy. Then randomly I see on NetGalley there was a second one coming out this year. So 4 years difference, people. I waited 4 years for this shit. 4 years, and then the second one came out this year. I obviously read it as soon as I could, 5 stars again. So far there's nothing on Goodreads that says there's going to be a third, but it left on a cliffhanger. Like, there has to be a third, or I literally will write it. We will see what happens. I'm not waiting another 4 years. I mean, I will. Like, I'll wait another 4 years. Like, if this comes out in 2027, I don't know who I'm pretending. Like, who I'm trying to kid. I will read it. I'll just be pissed. It'll be a hate read, but then I'll give it 5 stars. Then I have When the Coffee Gets Cold. Is that the name of the actual series, though? Before the Coffee Gets Cold, first of all. I'm not even saying that right. I read this earlier. Did I read this year or last year? Absolutely adored it. The 5th one just isn't translated into English yet. But there's 5. I don't know how many there will be. Honestly, with this concept, you could make it go on for a really long time, but who knows? I think that they all follow the same concept where, like, you get a cup of coffee, you drink it, you can time travel, but then as soon as your coffee gets cold, you come back. But I think each individual book just follows, like, each one I think is 4 stories, and they don't necessarily, I've never heard that they're connected. So this isn't one that I feel like I have to wait till they're all published. I have to wait till they're all translated to English and all of that. Like, because I feel like they aren't really interconnected. It's just kind of the same concept told multiple times. But correct me if I'm wrong, but that is what I've heard. That one I could start whenever, but I just have had a busy year, and I only read the first one this year, so. Then I have the Ice Planet Barbarian series. Now this one confuses the fuck out of me, and that's why I haven't read it. Each of these is only like 5 hours long or something like that as far as audio goes, but there's like 1,000 of them, and it confuses me so much. I've read so many different like articles and whatnot about the order to read them in, because there's literally like novels within the novels. Like, it's so confusing to my OCD brain. It overwhelms me. And so some of them are like grouped together on Hoopla with my library, and some of them aren't, and it's like it's kind of like overwhelming for me. So this is one where I was definitely going to kind of wait, see if they bundle anything together, or see if there's, because I feel like constantly every single year I'm seeing new bundles, like, oh, we bundled 1 through 5, or we bundled 1.1 to 1.6, and like, all, it's so overwhelming. So that's why I haven't read that one yet. I did like it. It was very fun, very different than anything I've ever read before. The amount of books and the lack of organization with it, and then trying to coordinate that with the library, it's very overstimulating and overwhelming for me. So that's why I haven't continued on in that one so far. I don't even know where to start. Then I have, oh, I just realized the name, Sworn Soldier series, which is What Moves the Dead. Second one, What Feast at Night, is coming out next year. So this is a series that I definitely want to continue on in, but I haven't had the chance because it's not released yet. I gave What Moves the Dead 4 stars. That was a Fall of the House of Usher retelling. I thought it was so interesting. So definitely gonna see what else is in store for that series and for those characters. Then I have the Ex-Hex series. Now, I really loved the Ex-Hex. I gave it 4.5 stars. I thought it was a super cute, super fun, witchy, kind of autumnal romance. That came out in 2021. Then the Kiss Curse came out in 2022. And then the Wedding Wish, which is the 3rd one, isn't coming out until 2024. But I was actually waiting to read the Kiss Curse until the Wedding Wish came out. And my plan originally was to read the Kiss Curse, and then once the Wedding Wish came out, read that as well this fall. But it isn't coming out until next year, so I think I'm just gonna hold off on it. I'll probably just try to like read them all once that one's released, because I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be the final one. Then I have 3 that I really don't know. I'm like on the edge of if I want to continue on in them or not. And the first one is actually The Roommate. It's called the Shameless series. My bad. I gave it 3 stars. It was okay, but there were also a lot of things I really didn't like about it, and that's why I don't know if I want to continue on in this series. This was average to me, and so I don't know if I want to take the time to read another one like it, but also there's always the chance that she's improved upon her writing. So it's like, I don't know. The Intimacy Experiment has an average of 3.65 and this one has 3.59. So honestly, that one's not rated that much higher. And most people reading that one probably liked this one and wanted to continue. So if I didn't like this one, it's not looking good. But I don't know. Let me know if you've read this. What did you continue on, or have you read the Intimacy Experiment? Was it good? Was it worth it? Then I have the Dreamland Billionaire series. Now this one, again, the fine print, read it, gave it 3 stars. Don't know if I want to continue on. There's only 2 more, right? Terms and Conditions and Final Offer. But those ones both have amazing ratings and reviews. I gave the fine print, like I said, 3 stars. It was good, but it also, similar to this really, I also just felt kind of like, like I read it, but I wasn't obsessed with it. I read it, but I don't really need more from it, you know? But everybody that I see talk about this book or this series on TikTok seems to say that books 2 and 3 are way better than the first one, and that it only gets better as it goes. And since there's only 2 more books, I'm like, okay, maybe I should just push through and just read those 2 books to say I completed the series and to give it a chance to see if it gets better, but I don't know. Then the final one I have is Scythe. I give it 4 stars. I really, really liked it, but I read it back, like, I don't want to say when it first came out. I read this probably in 2017, and as time went on, I just, like, gave up interest in the series, but a lot of people still swear by it. That's what I'm saying, like, this book has really good ratings, but books 2, 3, and now 3.5 all have really good ratings. So I'm like, you know what? If I like this enough to give it 4 stars, and I did really enjoy it, maybe I should continue on. Maybe I just need to reread this book. And those are all the series that I'm in the middle of. Let me know what you think. Let me know about the ones that I'm hesitant on continuing on in. Like the video if you like the video, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!